Please create a tasty and unique dessert recipe based on the Halloween Horror Nights event at Universal Studios. And boom, this is what ChatGPT made. Let's go cook it. All right, so we're gonna make pumpkin ghoul pudding parfaits. Say that 10 times fast. And these are all based on what ChatGPT recommended when I asked it to create a recipe based on the Halloween Horror Nights event at Universal Studios, Florida, or Hollywood, whatever, same thing. So we asked, it created a 3-part recipe, an appetizer, a main, and a dessert. The appetizer and the main were cooked in a separate video that's already out. It came up with zombie finger breadsticks and mummy wrap meatloaf, and it called this whole thing the Haunted Horror Nights Feast, which is a pretty cool name. So make sure you go back and watch that video after you watch this one where we make the dessert, which is the pumpkin ghoul pudding parfaits. These do sound really good. So we're gonna start off with a saucepan. That's how Binging with Babish says it, right? A saucepan. We need to do a video about him too. I have definitely never made a parfait before. Oh yeah, I've made a trifle, but not a parfait. There's a difference. All right, so this says we need to get a, what's it called? A saucepan, like I said. And we need to whisk together sugar, cornstarch, salt, cinnamon, nutmeg, and ginger. Let me get all the ingredients first. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna, in this saucepan, take a 1/4 cup of sugar as our first step. Oh, that's loud. Everyone's still sleeping. 1/4 cup of sugar in there. And then we want some cornstarch, which I believe is 2 tablespoons of cornstarch. I got just a little thing of it. Oh, and it's non-GMO, which I don't know what that means, but maybe that's important to you. 1 tablespoon and 2 tablespoons. I have never made pudding from scratch, by the way, or a parfait. Well, is this a pudding or a parfait? Is it the same thing? I don't even know. Based on all that other stuff I just said, I probably don't need to say this, but I am not a pro cook. Pinch of salt goes in there next. Not a pro cook at all. I cook for fun, and on here we use artificial intelligence to create our recipes, which is, I think, a fun and unique idea. And one of these days, guys, we're gonna stumble upon the world's greatest recipe. Originally, this channel was called World's Best Recipe, and I tried recipes that were already out there. But I think to really find the world's best, we need to create new recipes. We're gonna put a 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon in there, and then we're gonna put a 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg and ginger. The ginger sounds sketchy to me. I don't know why we're putting ginger in here, but I shall do it because that's what the recipe says to do. Ginger just always makes me think of like juicing. There's a 1/4 teaspoon of the nutmeg. Oof, nutmeg is so strong. You know what I really like at Mexican restaurants, in an unrelated conversation, but kind of related, in my brain, is chorizo. But sometimes chorizo tastes like nutmeg, like too nutmeggy, and I don't like it. So there's a random thought of the day, brought to you by ADHD. And we are supposed to gradually whisk in milk. Are we supposed to stir this first? Let me take a look here. There's 1 cup. Whisk together, yeah, we need to whisk that together. And for that, we will use this little whisk, kind of mix it all up. Look at that, there's like a smoke forming around here. Let's also just shake it around. We don't have the heat on yet on this little induction cooktop. All right. I inhaled some cinnamon. All right, so it says gradually whisk in the milk, ensuring no lumps form. Okay. I'm spilling the milk everywhere. Was that gradual? I don't think that was gradual. I'm terrible at this. It says to turn it on medium heat. Start. I've got milk over here now. Well, I don't know if I avoided lumps, but it says stir it constantly and add another cup of milk. 2 cups total of milk. Let me add that in. I'm bad at this, guys. I'm bad at this. Whatever. It's fine. Heavy-handed Dave is what they call me. So I'm just gonna whisk this like crazy while it heats up. So it says to do this until it starts to thicken, and then we're gonna mix in the pumpkin puree. 1 cup of it, and I think this is more than a cup. So I probably should have measured that out because I only have 1 hand now. Is this gonna work? No. All right, I'm gonna stop whisking for a second. Don't tell ChatGPT that I'm breaking the rules. Boom, it's open. Move the milk. We need 1 cup of this. I'm just gonna use the same thing. 1 cup. Is that the whole can? It might be the whole can. No, it's a little less than the whole can. Okay, so that is on standby, and I made a little mess on the table here. This reminds me of baby food. When I had my young kids, I would feed them garbage like that. Here's a little pumpkin, you want some pumpkin? Hey pumpkin, you want some pumpkin? Yeah, call your kids pumpkin, they like it. So how do you rank pumpkin as a food? Like seriously, I mean, I know there's the pumpkin spice lattes, and there's the pumpkin pies, and there's all these pumpkin foods. And for me, like, pumpkin pie is very low on the pie pyramid. You know, I like some fresh blueberries or apples or, you know, cherry pie, chocolate pie. Literally all of that to me is better than a pumpkin pie. But I know that there's just like that time of the year where you crave pumpkin. And we're getting there, right? When I'm making this, I'm making it because Halloween Horror Nights is about to start at Universal Studios, meaning that like all the spooky stuff is about to kick off early September. You know, we're ready for the pumpkin flavor. And I think for me, this might be like the perfect amount of pumpkin. Just a little bit of pumpkin in a parfait as a dessert to my, you know, Halloween horror feast that we're making as designed by AI. All right, this is definitely warm now. Is it thickened? I don't know that it's thickened yet. We are gonna be adding vanilla here pretty soon too, so get ready for that. I feel like it's starting to thicken up. I've never made pudding. I'm a little nervous I'm gonna mess this up. I feel like I've used the instant pudding mix. Ew, I just put my hand in the pumpkin. Let me clean that. I feel like trying the pumpkin puree would be an interesting thing to do. Oh. It's really not good. That's just like licking the side of a pumpkin after carving it. That's what that tastes like. Whew. Not a fan. All right, so is this thickened? I don't know, guys. I really don't know. How do I tell? I've never done this before. I think it's a little thickened. I'm gonna add the pumpkin puree. Add it in there and lower the heat to medium-low is what it says. Lower the heat to medium-low, add the pumpkin puree and mix that in for another 2 to 3 minutes. I guess that's all that's coming out. Cook for another 2 to 3 minutes until pudding further thickens. Remove from the heat and stir in vanilla. Pour pudding into a bowl and cover it with plastic wrap, ensuring the wrap touch. I don't know if I have plastic wrap. Uh-oh. We'll figure something out. I'm still not convinced it's really thickened up at all. It has been 3 minutes of this. It says remove from heat and stir in the vanilla extract after 3 minutes. So we're just gonna do it. We're gonna remove it from the heat. We're gonna turn this thing off. We're gonna add a teaspoon of vanilla into it, just 1 teaspoon, like so. We're gonna mix that up, and then we're gonna add it to a bowl. And we're gonna hope that this turns into pudding. Is pudding supposed to be hard right away? I don't think so. I think it's okay. Pour it into this bowl here. Try not to spill it. It's kind of good. This is where we're supposed to cover it with plastic wrap, which I don't think I have any of. Note to self, order plastic wrap. How about press and seal? Will that work? I don't even know what this is. How do you open it? Press and seal. What the heck? Oh, I see. Wait, hold on. Time out, guys. I don't know what I'm doing. There. This could work, but it says it's supposed to touch the pudding. So make it touch the pudding. Pudding snacks. Jello pudding snacks. Is this stuff edible? I think it is. It shows it touching an avocado on the front of it. So I think we're okay. Let me get a little more. What in the world? How is this supposed to work? I hate it. Whatever. We're good. We got enough. All right, so that's kind of covered. It's touching the top. And so I'm gonna put it in the fridge to let it turn into pudding. That's to leave that in the fridge for 2 hours. So we'll come back to that a little bit later. Guys, the pudding didn't thicken. What do I do? I'm Googling what to do if your pudding doesn't set, and it has not set at all. And so this is just typical Dave, cooking with Dave, and let me see what I can find. Mix a spoonful of 2 of cornstarch with a small amount of cold water. 2 spoonfuls of cornstarch, let's see, until you have a smooth slurry. Cold water. All right, I added a little water, and I'm just mixing this to get a little slurry. Is that enough? I don't know. Maybe I did too much water. Maybe I should watch this video. Add it to your heated pudding mix and stir it until it begins to thicken. So let me reheat this pudding mix. I don't know if this is gonna work. So I'm gonna heat up this pudding mix. I'm gonna add this slurry and we're gonna see if it thickens. All right, so this pudding is warmed up. I'm gonna add the cornstarch and see if we can't salvage this recipe. Cornstarch, wait, let's mix it again into like a slurry and add it. Please thicken, please thicken. I mean, I guess I could just go buy some pumpkin pudding if this doesn't work. I don't really know what I did wrong in the first place. Like, did ChatGPT fail me or did I screw something up? Oh, it says to boil it for a minute or 2. We never got to a boil at the beginning part, so maybe that was the problem. Let's get her up to a boil. Oh, it's getting really hot. It's boiling over. Oh boy. Ah! Okay, it's set too high, guys. It's making a mess. Just turn down the heat. Oh my gosh. Ah. Oh, I just got this all over my shirt. All right, I boiled it for like 2 minutes. Now I'm just kind of stirring it a little. And then I guess I'm gonna put it back in the bowl. It seems like it thickened a little bit. I actually got some burnt bits at the bottom, sadly. If we can salvage this, we're miracle workers, guys. Let me know in the comments what I did wrong on the whole pudding process here. Let's put it back in this bowl. Got all types of like hearty chunks in it. It's like a chunky tomato soup now. I don't think that's what's supposed to happen. I mean, it's thicker. It's thicker. I'm gonna put it back in the fridge for like another hour and see what happens. All right guys, so I had an idea. So first of all, let's start with the pumpkin pudding in the fridge. It is still exactly the same consistency. It has not turned into pudding in any way, shape, or form. I don't know if I should blame ChatGPT, artificial intelligence, or my lack of skills, but I did have a shower thought while in the shower that I could just make pumpkin pudding and still construct this whole dessert just with another pumpkin pudding recipe. So what I did is I went out and got the ingredients for an easier pumpkin pudding. I got vanilla jello. It says add the pumpkin puree, so I had to buy another thing of pumpkin puree. 15 ounces of that. The same exact stuff, except, you know, baby food style. A 5.1 ounce thing of instant pudding mix, vanilla flavor. We're gonna add that to this. Then we're gonna add a 12 ounce can of evaporated milk. Is that right? 12 ounce? Yeah, 12 fluid ounce can of evaporated milk, carnation style. Low fat it called for. So low fat I did. And then a teaspoon of pumpkin pie spice. Here's a half teaspoon. So let me just do this twice. And this should be instant pudding mix, so we should have pudding in a second. Okay, so there's a half a teaspoon, another half, and now we have a teaspoon. Let me mix that up and see what we get here. Hopefully this just turns into some real quick and dirty pumpkin pudding. Well, not dirty, but you get my point. We don't really want dirty pudding. What does that even mean, dirty pudding? It's already thicker than the other stuff I made. Not that that takes much. All right, so this says, blend until fully incorporated and thick, transfer into individual serving size. Yeah, this is it. Look, it's already pumpkin pudding. We're basically done with this. Very exciting. After many hours of waiting for that other pumpkin pudding to set, we found a solution that took 10 seconds. Imagine that. Wonder if it actually tastes good. We have some other things we need to make for this dessert. This was just one minor part. It was the first part, and apparently the hardest part. I want to know in the comments, guys, if you can figure out what in the world I did wrong here that made me have to go this other path. Should I try this? I really don't think it smells very good. Actually, it's not bad. Tastes like pumpkin pudding. I don't hate it. Okay, so let's set it aside. Clean up this a little bit. Now we need to make a little crumble. It says in a bowl, mix crushed graham crackers. So I've got graham crackers here. I'm gonna crush them like this. I like doing it like this. It's nice and easy. The problem is eventually you break the bag and make a big mess if you're not careful. So I'm trying to not do that. Right, there we go. There we go. And now it's broken on both sides. Anyways, how much of that do we need? We need half a cup. All right, so just take half a cup of these, like so. Put them in here and just crush them a little bit more. I want it to be pretty consistent texture. I'm gonna call this a bowl, by the way. It says to use a bowl, but I'm calling this a bowl today. All right, that's pretty much good. All right, we need 2 tablespoons of melted butter, and we need a tablespoon of sugar. So we'll just add the sugar in here, the butter, like so. And then we wanna mix that all up together. It says it should resemble sand, which it does. Right, so this is our little cookie crumble that's gonna be part of this. What even is this called? Pumpkin ghoul pudding parfait, that's right. It's been so long I've been working on this, I forgot the name of it. Pumpkin ghoul pudding parfait. All right, so let's set that aside as well. We then wanna make our whipped topping. Now, last time I tried to make a whipped topping, it went horribly wrong. We learned on this show that I don't have a good understanding of what stiff peaks are in regards to this sort of thing. So let's see if I'm better at it now. All right, so for the whipped cream, you need 1 cup of heavy cream, which I just added. So it's a cup of heavy cream, 3 tablespoons of powdered sugar. That's this stuff. 1, 2, and 3. And then 1 teaspoon of vanilla, which I still have the vanilla out here, actually. That's perfect. This is a half teaspoon, oops. So I'm just gonna do it twice, there we go. And we gotta mix that up with the mixer, which might not be plugged in. Okay, mix it up. Oh, I gotta actually lift it, hold on. Lift, there we go. All right guys, so the whipped cream I think is done this time, I think. Last time it went horribly wrong and it was way too liquidy and it might happen again. So stay tuned for mayhem. See this is where I'm at. See, it doesn't like just pour. Last time it just poured. This time it does not just pour. And I believe stiff peaks were being formed, which is what it says needs to happen. So let's pull it out of here. It looks like whipped cream this time, kind of. Now, sadly, it does call for a piping bag, which I still don't have such fancy things, but we're gonna try to assemble one of these. And it says to start off with our cookie crumble at the bottom. So that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna throw some of this cookie crumble at the bottom, like so. I don't know how much we have to push it down or whatever. Then we're supposed to add some pudding. Let me get a spoon. I imagine we need a good amount of the pudding. All right, so we got that. Now we're gonna take the pudding, which I still have sitting over here, and we're gonna add that to the mix. And a good amount, because the pudding I think is like the real hearty part of the dish. I mean, that looks pretty good. Now let's add some more of the cookie, what's it called? Not called cookie, it's called graham cracker. I didn't make enough graham cracker for this. I guess I should make some more. Okay, like that. That looks pretty cool. Now this is where I ruin it. Stay tuned for the part where Dave ruins the recipe. It says to pipe on the whipped cream. I don't have a piping thing, so I'm gonna try to use a Ziploc. And hope beyond hope that it works out. Oh, is it? See, I don't know if it's mixed enough yet. I still am so nervous after the last time. Oh.
Yeah, it would also be easier to draw the thing on it, Dad.
Everywhere. Hey, you know what? It kind of looks like Freddy already. Okay,
yeah,
so this is
easier.
Gotta be my worst recipe I've ever made.
No.
Yeah, it looks more whipped creamy this time. Let me put it in this Ziploc bag. Ooh, please work. Please work. You know, I could always, if we fail, just use normal whipped cream that I didn't make myself. There was one video where I did this well, way back in the day. All right, so you put it in here. Oh yeah, I need to cut like a little hole down here. All right, let's test this, hold on. I'm gonna test this. Where did I put the hole? Right here? Okay, my hole's not, my hole's not really working. All right, well, let's try it. We're trying to make a ghostly looking thing here. Okay, that kind of, sort of looks like what I imagined. Hold on. So ChatGPT had said small chocolate chips. I'm kind of wishing I had done big ones for the eyes. But basically we're just gonna take and this. Do these look like eyes? Let's see. Do these look like ghost eyes? What do you think, guys? Hold on, I'll show you over here. All right, this is supposed to be it. This is, there's the little eyes. I don't know if they look like eyes. They really kind of don't. Whatever. It's all right. It still is gonna be fall-like. It's the, what's it called? Pumpkin ghoul pudding parfait. There it is. As best as I can do it. Let's try it. We're gonna have Callie, my daughter, try it, and she doesn't really like pumpkin, so if she likes it, it'll be a miracle. It's actually pretty good. I like it. All right, we're gonna get Callie a spoonful. This is the pumpkin ghoul pudding parfait. Does it look like a ghost? Not really. What do you think?
Not a fan of pumpkin.
Not a fan of pumpkin? What if you get all the other bits in there? Let me try to get a little of everything.
I don't like that part, I like this part.
Slice the graham crackers and the whipped cream. Makes sense, I like the whole thing. Well, you know what it needs though, Callie? To be honest, way more chocolate chips. There we go. Who cares about how it looks? She gives it a 2 out of 10. That ain't bad. We'll accept that. I'm gonna make another one for Tina, my wife. And then instead of, trying to make it super ghostly, I'm just gonna load it up with chocolate chips because I think it's better that way. There you go. It's still within the season, the Halloween season for Halloween Horror Nights. Let me give it to Tina and see what she thinks.
Is it pumpkin?
It is pumpkin.
Love pumpkin.
Our family is not a huge pumpkin family. It's the pumpkin ghoul pudding parfait, Tina. She said it's beautiful. That's something. Yeah, oh yeah, yeah. I'm talented, she said.
Actually good.
That's actually good, guys. First time ever. Tina likes it, even though it tastes like pumpkin. So we're gonna call that a win. I think it's a good dessert. I think you're intended to use like smaller little bowls, but this is all I had, so they're big, extra size. Anyways, guys, thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe and tune in for the next video. Not a total success, but not a total fail. I'll give the dessert an 8 out of 10. I'm gonna finish mine, so that's a win. Bye-bye.